great at distributing the ball. He's scoring, definitely needs a little more work, but it's definitely one of his main attributes. It's really the defense effort. And I think the best thing Breezy brought about Ben Sarath is defensively, if he can show you could guard 1 through 3 at least and give you a tough defensive presence on a given night, it kind of makes up for Sarath's offensive flaws. We know his mid-range shot needs a lot of work. He was taking threes in practice. It did not look like he's comfortable doing that. So I just think his offense definitely needs so much work. But if they want to start him and guarantee a top pick, I'm fine for it. I just think they're worried a bit about Nolan's defensive effort because Nolan has the speed, but he doesn't have the physicality that you would hope for in a certain point guard pedigree. And I think that's why they're a little more anxious on not giving him the full nod. I think they like Nolan. I think they might want him as our sixth man to start out. But I think Sarath and Yegor, they're at the top of the totem pole as far as getting potential starting opportunities. And this is the good that we're having 3 guards. If an injury did happen to Yegor, which is unfortunate, now, like Breezy said, next man up. So this kind of works to our favor. And if the Nets do want to make a big move in the future, I think one of these 3 guards will go in a trade package. So it's moving pieces you have with all these point guards. But I think that's why Sean did what he did with that, because it helps you in an emergency injury situation and it gives you potential moving piece in the following year. But I really think it's Nolan's defensive effort is what they're kind of worried about. That's why I think Sarath has a bit of the inside track because of his defense. But if that's what he's going to use to try to cover up his offensive weaknesses, okay. But Sarath definitely needs a lot of work. But I understand why he's getting the nod right now over Nolan.
Yeah. So I can say I was finally wrong about something. You know what I mean? I was finally wrong about something, right? You know what I'm saying? Whoa, shocking. Iceman has been wrong about something. No,
man, you said that when Leaf left, bro.
Right. Right, yo. I'm finally wrong about something, but nah, it's that's impressive to me. You know what I'm saying? Being the guy that most Nets fans didn't understand the pick, and we still don't understand the pick because, like Bree said, having 4 guards in one draft is wild, crazy. But then for the last pick to stand out, you know what I mean? The last guard to stand out a lot says something different about the scouting. And Breeze, to run it back a little bit, Kobe Buffkin, I read in the article Brian Lewis put out, I believe, it said that the Nets scouting team had actually scouted Kobe Buffkin before. And Juwan Howard did have a say, you know what I'm saying, in the matter, and the scouting team did too. So the scouting team and Juwan Howard actually wanted Buffkin on the team, you know what I'm saying? So that's a fact. Not only Juwan, but the scouting team. So they had eyes on Buffkin before when he got drafted. They didn't get him. So now that he was available, they went and got him. You know what I'm saying? What you think about that?
I think that, I'm hearing a lot of rumbling about Juwan Howard and how he's impacting the decision making with the coaching staff. I think he's getting a strong buzz. He was even out there signing autographs, and I think, he been working with Clax on his jumper. You know what I mean? Juwan Howard was there practicing the park. Clax was on the court with him. I think that's part of the reason why Noah Clowney bulked up. I think Juwan Howard is an X factor on the coaching staff when it comes to player development, and the way Clax and Noah Clowney, whatever they did in the offseason, I would probably contribute it to, Juwan Howard. I mean, just because of who he was as an NBA player. Not only that, he was also a good head coach in college. You know what I'm saying? So I just think that, hats off to him because, I think he has a lot of say with that coaching staff. And I think that he is going to be a voice that Jordy Fernandez, you know what I'm saying, resonates with. Jordy Fernandez is, you know what I mean? He got an experience. Assistant head coach in a Juwan Howard. And I think that could be like a 1-2 punch for real. Like, obviously, it's Jordy Fernandez team, and he's the head coach. The assistant coach is Juwan Howard, yeah. But Juwan Howard, when you talk about player development, he's getting players from high school to college to compete. Then you put him in the NBA, and the NBA is drafting players in their rookie year in college. He's a integral piece of what the Brooklyn Nets are doing when it comes down to player development. And if he's seen something in Kobe, I believe it. Right. I think Kobe is a backup plan, but with Diego getting hurt, he might, you know what I'm saying, Yeah. To John's point, it is easy to put one of these guys in the trade package, contingent on who plays well. You know,
Right.
you're gonna see who quote unquote fits in the system, and if they do, you know, if they're a quote unquote Jordy Fernandez kind of player, bro, I wouldn't be surprised if Ben Saran and Nolan Traore get in the trade package because Kobe Buffkin playing well, him and Diego, or the other way around, or you know, maybe Kobe and Nolan, and then it's Diego and Ben Saran, the 1 and 2. Who knows? But I know as a Nets fan, I'm excited to see it. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of basketball. I feel like I'm waiting forever at this moment. You know what I mean,
Yeah, facts.
And it'll be interesting to see if what more influence Juwan Howard has, because I think with Clowney's development, if he played a huge hand in that, I'm definitely very excited to see what Clowney could do this year. Because if Howard is helping a big like Clowney get more acclimated just with physicality, being more of a better rebounder, better scorer all around, like that to me is a great influence. And I think Juwan Howard's like the number 2 or number 3 to Jordy. I know Steve Hetzel, a lot of people look at him as the number 2, but Juwan Howard, I think he definitely is making his mark there. I wish he was here when we had Claxton a few years earlier, because I think he definitely could have helped Claxton evolve his skill set. I feel like Juwan Howard came at kind of like the wrong time where Claxton's hit that ceiling. But Jordy says Claxton's destined for a breakout season this year, so we'll see if Howard had some influence there. But I definitely think Juwan's going to have huge influence with Clowney going forward, and Danny Wolf especially. I can't wait to see what Howard does with Wolf in improving aspects of his game as well. So having Howard's championship experience as being a former big man definitely will help play a factor in how we're trying to find our future starting big of the future for sure.
Right. So on that, because that's what I wanted to talk about next. Claps said that the like I said, the epidural he had back, the back pain he had last year, he wasn't playing as well. Bigger role this year for Clax. Expect him to be healthy. Like I don't know what to expect from him. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if his numbers is gonna go up a little bit. I don't know if he's gonna have the ball in his hands a lot more. I don't know if he's going, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what they're gonna do with Clax this year. That'd be interesting to see if he does play different, and it was the back bothering him last year, and fans was getting on him for not playing as well and not, you know what I'm saying, not putting up numbers they thought he should put up. That'd be different, you know what I'm saying? And that'll help with the fans, you know what I'm saying? Even though Clax is a slim body, not a big body, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That'll help the fans if he score a little bit more, because they want to see scoring from Clax. I don't think Clax is a scorer, but they want to see scoring from Clax. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we just need Claxton to be mature and professional. And I'm glad that on media day, Jordy and some of the other guys just said with Claxton, listen, the tantrum stuff you got to leave in the past. I mean, Claxton even said, I'm a father now. I'm now responsible for my family and for my kid. Like he definitely, I think he did really have a deep dive this summer, just going, hey, I need to think about elevating my future, being a better leader all around, being a better player. And we just have to see it. Like they could say this guy's gonna have a breakout year. Last year they would call him Sabonis. It's just Claxton just needs to play a balanced game. We know he's not going to shoot threes, mid ranges anytime soon. But now you have all these guards. He realistically should be a third or fourth best scorer as far as the lobs goes. Defensively, definitely have to be the anchor again, because we want to see him get his value up just in case we are thinking about the possibility of moving away from him. And I think for Claxton, he already got paid. It's just you just got to be a top vet for this team and leave the tantrums in the past. And I really hope he does, because I feel like that soured the team last year. I know people looking at the back issue ice, but the Simmons and MPJ back issues were way different what Claxton was doing, because he did play over 60 games. And I just felt like at times his mentality was not in it. Like he would cause these ticky-tacky foul calls on himself or want to throw a cushion, close on people. Just felt like he was unhappy because he thought they were going to compete or something. Even Claxton said, when I re-signed with the Nets, I want to be competing for a title. And we were going, 20 steps backwards to rebuild. It just felt like Claxton was not in lockstep with that. But I think now the Nets have an understanding, based on who they drafted, especially with Wolf, that Claxton is probably more expendable than they want to say to him right now. They want him to be the best version of himself, but I think if he does become that best version, they're looking to move off him, because he's going to be 27 next year, entering his prime. And I just feel like the Nets want a more agile center that could do way more, especially on offense. So if Claxton could elevate his game this year and we do trade him for a decent return, everybody wins there. I just don't see us winning, though, with Claxton as he gets older in the NBA. It just doesn't seem like that's a good long-term fit for us at this point.
See, to me, it's different. It depends on how the team is built. Clax is still a
Mm-hmm.
good player, but it all depends. You know what I'm saying? Who's the power forward? Does he have help? Because he always gonna need help. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Can't hold his own too much, but at times he could. You know what I'm saying? He's a good rim runner, a good defender, depending on what who's on the side. But he is a shot blocker. So I think it all depends, and I think it all depends on his backup as well. You know what I mean? If you have
Mm-hmm.
day one, or if you get somebody like Danny who finally play some defense and get himself together, you know what I'm saying? It all depends on the team because I don't think Clax is bad, but I do understand he's not going to man the paint. You know what I'm saying? He's not going.
Right.
That's not him. He's still, I forget what he weighed, but it's still like 235.
Yeah,
Two.
something like that. He's never really bulked up in that
Yeah,
area.
he's not
Clowney's added 24 pounds in 3 years, which is
right.
insane.
Right, and those back issues. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's why starting Clowney with Claxton even elevates Claxton's value more because Clowney and Claxton in a little spurt in that first season when Clowney came up, they were rebounding well. They were actually out rebounding a lot of teams. Like there is some good value there in having two bigs on the court together, and we also preserve MPJ. I think playing with the power forward is an illogical move, just given how open he was about his back issues, the preparation. Don't want him to get his ass busted by Apollo. Like that just would be worrisome for his career. So moving him to the three preserves his health, and we also elevating Claxton's value with having Clowney, who looks like he's destined to be a breakout forward for us. And even I think Coach Jordy said this guy could be a really great two-way player potentially. So having a lineup of Yegor, Cam, MPJ, Clowney, Claxton, I think that's a great way to start the season because we're elevating Claxton's value, preserving MPJ's health, and letting Clowney really show what he can do. Ice, that's how you accomplish 3 goals right there off the bat. I just think that would make way more logical sense than doing an MPJ, Zaire, Claxton front court because realistically, what is that stopping? Nobody really, and you're not letting Clowney get a chance to show that he's more than just the muscle adjustment that he made for himself this summer.
Yeah, facts. Facts. So with that, Clowney, yeah, they said Clowney added on the muscle. I seen Clowney work out. I know we talked about that, but you know what I'm saying? That's another thing. Like there's some unknowns with Clowney. We know he can shoot. There's some unknowns with Clax. Like JP said, back injuries could always come back. They certainly can. They certainly can come back. You know what I mean? That's a fact. It don't take too much for a back to be acting up like that, especially like, you know what I'm saying, Claxton. But Clowney, yeah, adding on weight, still can move, still bulky, learning how to use his shoulder and all that. I seen it in the Chris Johnson workouts. You know what I'm saying? Interesting. But to the point where like I said 22 wins, but I don't know. Like it seems like we do have good players on this team. I just don't know how good the team will be as a collective. You know what I mean? Terrence Mann is a good player. He's decent. You know what I'm saying? Claxton is a good player. MPJ is a good player. Cam Thomas is a good player. Like our point guard is you know what I'm saying? A rookie. So out of that, you know what I'm saying? You got one rookie point guard and 4 veterans, basically. You know what I'm saying? 4 guys that played basically together. Zaire is a good player. So they got some type of chemistry, but like the new guys don't have any chemistry. So it's
Right.
interesting to see. And they still got a cut players. Like that right now is puzzling. You know what I mean? You got Fanbo right there, Jay Wills and Tyrese, and you still got Drew Timmy. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I don't know. What y'all think about that?
Well, the interesting thing is we do have the youngest roster in NBA history, so like that definitely will play a huge factor in whatever the win total is. If Jordy really can get this team to turn into something when we don't know what it could be and reach somehow 20 wins, again, Jordy's out for expectations. But if you want to line up a perfect pick, guaranteeing yourself being a bottom 3 team somehow and approaching a 20-win threshold would be interesting. I just don't know if that would be in our best interest. But I will say this: I think we have a lot of youth to work with, which is not a bad thing. It definitely helps you prioritize the future. It's just the MPJ Cam Thomas situation is so interesting because realistically, both their futures don't look long term in Brooklyn. MPJ, the back issue, like NBA media was crazy. They said this guy's going to be a scoring champion. This guy has to put a lot of preparation just to be on the court ice and you've told us about your history with back issues. Like, this guy is not going to play, I don't think, any back-to-backs this year. And realistically, if we're going to trade MPJ's 40 mil expiring for some big upgrade piece, you got to get this guy through 82 games. Like, if he can somehow play 50 or 60 games and still be healthy, I think that's a win for us. But definitely he should not be overburdened minutes-wise if his back is that much of an issue. And Cam Thomas, this month of November is huge for him because December 15 is when a lot of these free agents can be trade eligible. So if Cam has a great November, I would not be surprised if some teams who are dealing with some bad injuries right now call Sean Marks about that. So if Cam and MPJ don't play like huge games, if one of them is dealt and the other comes up with an injury bug, the rest of his team offensively will not be able to beat a lot of good teams, and that should line up the Nets very well in the lottery. Now, if Jordy can somehow get these few experienced pieces to help these young guys gain confidence, then I wouldn't say 20 wins is impossible. Does it make sense, though, if we were trying to go in the lottery and make bigger moves potentially next summer? That's what Jordy has to balance this year, and I hope we figure out the balance, but you really have to hit that fine tune, or else this could again be a potential underwhelming draft for the Brooklyn Nets when it can't be. We need our franchise guy, and just winning 20 games because we want to do it for culture, that's not really going to make a lot of people happy at the end of the day. But at the same time, Jordy is trying to show that winning can mean something, no matter who you got. As long as you play with grit and intensity, you have a shooter's chance against anybody on any given night. But I think it really is tied into if Cam and MPJ are going to be here the whole season, and if one of them is going to deal with an injury bump here or there. That really is what's going to define whatever win total we have this season, Ice.
Yep, that is.
I got a question, bro.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is there what is the possibility that we finish in the play-in and we still get a top 3 pick?
It's a low
It's not
possibility.
impossible, but does it make sense for us? I mean, is the NBA going to give us the same good luck that they gave to Dallas? That we don't know how that went. I don't know if we're that lucky. I don't think Sean and Joe have the NBA connections that they claim to do. If we're being honest, Leaf.
Yeah,
Oh,
not.
okay. All right. So basically, if this team is winning less than 20 games or more than 55 games, like what would you rather? Like just hypothetically. I'm not even talking about what we can do or what you see this roster doing or what you just hypothetically. The way this roster is shaped out and the way the archetypes is shaped out, if a good amount of these players reach their height in this year, if somehow some way we win over 55 games, or we if we you impressed with us winning over 55 games, or you would rather stick to us winning under 20 games?
I mean, if we're in the twilight zone, okay, but we're in reality. That's just not
I
possible.
mean,
And
no, no, no. I'm just talking hypotheticals, bro. I'm
no,
like,
no,
because we don't know.
hypothetically, listen, if they somehow do that, then the Nets are ahead of schedule, and these young guys should get a superstar want to come knocking on our door because superstars want depth. Like you were saying, Leaf, our bench needs to be as great as whoever is going to be in the starting unit. And right now, we have a lot of guys competing for those important bench roles. So if these guys and the young guys we drafted hope for expectations that, hey, we're way ahead of schedule, but Sean Marks clarified he's looking to make a big move as soon as next summer after that 2026 lottery where the Nets won't have any control of their picks going forward. So if these guys do prioritize somewhat overperform expectations again and win more than 20 games, it's definitely going to make Sean Marks' case for, hey, I could go get another superstar because these guys don't want to lose anymore. But at the same time, you do not want to screw your chance of getting a potential franchise guy. I mean, Leaf, there are at least 5 or 6 guys in this draft that could each potentially be a number 1 pick, but they're not going to be a number 1 pick. That's the fun, enticing thing. But for the Nets, you got to at least get top 5 next year. Anything less than that, if you have 6 odds again, you get screwed with the 8th or 9th pick. It's not going to make anybody happy. That means you're just going to have to go get a star and hope that they're happy being the number 1 guy on a team full of supporting characters. You at least need a top 2 on this team, and hopefully that second guy can be in who you draft. Like we said, Leaf, it takes a bit of both to win this time around in the CBA, not just going one way or the other.
What if
Yeah,
what if we already have those guys, bro, and on the team already, and we just shooting for something that we know the league is might give us, whether we finish in the bottom 5 or whether we finish under 20 wins or whether we finish in the play-in. What is the real possibility of us getting the player that we want out of this draft. Like
Listen,
I'm trying to understand here, bro. Like, is there a bigger possibility that we might have the guy that we actually want already on this team?
um, I wouldn't say the guy,
Mhm.
but I would say maybe a guy or two guys that we already want on this team, right? And the
Yeah.
possibility of getting to the plane, it might be possible depending on how the team. What up, Saint? How the team playing? You know what I'm saying? You want to pull up, Saint? I can send you the link. You know what I'm saying? Let me know. How the team playing? Because like you said, I'm saying like they got players who's played together before, and adding guys like Terrence Mann and even Highsmith. You know what I'm saying? In this system, don't know how they're gonna work out, but is a people. Some people think that we can make the play, and the possibility of getting the guy that we want in the draft is it's not high. You know what I'm saying? 2 years in a row, the team that made the last spot in the play and got the first pick, right? Something like that, right? So that's a little bit of luck, and it's a low percentage. It's like 1%.
Is it really a little bit of luck,
Yeah,
or is
no,
it really really luck, or are we looking at a pattern here?
no. It looks like a pattern. All right. It looks like a pattern because first everybody say it was a weak draft Atlanta, and then you seen Dallas do the same exact thing back to back. So I think part
Are
of it
are,
is a
are, are
pattern.
are we looking at a pattern here?
Yeah. I think part of it is a pattern because it seems like the it depends on where you land at the number in the draft. Like say Philly, like Philly was at where was we at 5? Philly was
Philly
at
was
4.
at 5. We were at
Yeah.
6.
Oh, we was at 6, right? We was at 6. So at 5, they went to 3, and we went back. You know what I'm saying? We went down. So I think it all depends. In Atlanta was at whatever number they was at, and Dallas was whatever number they was at, and they went way up. You know what I'm saying? With 1%. So it seems like just the number you land at makes the difference. I don't think it's the wins and losses. I think it's actually the number 1, 2, 3. You know what I'm saying? Those numbers move down and the other numbers move up or down. You know what I'm saying? So I think
Right.
it's all depending on the number you land at, not necessarily just tanking,
Right.
even
And
though
the
you're
most
guaranteed the top 5, but it's the number that you land on. You know what I'm saying?
right, Ice. And the most guaranteed thing the Nets can do if they are the worst team in the league is you're guaranteed top 5. You're guaranteed the 5th pick, and which is not totally horrible because Ice, you and I are looking at this draft. They're at least after the 4. There are at least a guy or two that could be potential top 3 lottery pick in this draft, but because it's so deep at the top, we might get lucky. I mean, Tunde Yasufu, that guy might be a breakout star that's not getting the attention he should be getting right now. And there's another guy too.
And maybe we got
There's
the
another
guy.
guy too out there
Maybe
that
we
might be
got the guy
really good
already,
too.
bro. It's just that a lot of our fan base don't like the wait.
Right.
Well, Leaf. A lot of people think it was Cam Thomas, but the organization, the NBA, don't see it that way. I understand why they don't. So, and then
It's one
MPJ,
third of one
MPJ
third
might
of
be in
our fan base thought it was
semi-retirement.
Cam Thomas. One third of
Uh,
our fan base thought it was Cam Thomas.
I mean, we know
And
who the
I
people are that
understand
will
that might be
value.
a lot, bro, but one third of it thought it was Cam Thomas. They think Cam Thomas is Kyrie on the Celtics.
Yeah,
That's what
but
they think.
But that's just what I'm trying to say to you. It's not Cam, and then MPJ might be semi-retired. So realistically, after that, it's who you drafted, whether that's Yegor, Nolan, or Wolf. Which one of those 3 guys can be your second or third best guy? It's still up for debate because we got to see how they perform the first year. After that first year, we'll get a grasp if either one of them is ready for that mantle. So at least be the second or third guy, no worse. And then you get the number 1 guy in next year's draft, or you go at it in free agency or trade market. That's, I think, where the Nets are right now. But right now, we don't have that guy. And I agree with you, Leaf, though, that maybe we should look internally a bit more and hope that that guy comes from this. But realistically, this is such an unbalanced roster because we have so many guards. Our front court is wobbly. Like, we really just got to see how the Flatbush Five do this first year, and then we'll get a grasp, especially where we are lottery odds wise in next year's draft, to see which one of those guys fits what we're trying to build right now. Because that top 5 looks really good to want to be a part of. And for the Brooklyn Nets, if you're not a part of that top 5, this has been an utter failure of giving those Rockets those picks away because we pretty much
Well,
did not make do on what we said we were going to do, which was secure back-to-back top picks. Like, you need to do that this year. There's no
I
just
don't
winning for pride. It's being strategic this year. That's what this year is about, being strategic. They got
I'm
to be
a,
strategic this year.
I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I don't think like the plan about quote unquote being getting 2 top picks, 2 drafts in a row. It came out of nowhere, bro, with the Mikel deal. Because if you do that deal 100 times, Mikel don't go to no for no fuck for no damn 5 number ones. He doesn't. Like let's just be honest about it. This was something that fell into Sean Mark's lap. We understand that, bro. Like, but we also understand a development process has happened before here, while Sean Marks got here back in 2016. Now, whether you want to say that was because of him or was it because of Kenny Atkinson, bro, who knows? All I know is, bro, like, can we really differentiate, bro, a 2016 version of Kenny Atkinson from today's version of Jordy Fernandez? We can't. My thing is that, bro, the number one, the number two, the number three, even the number three option might be on this team already. It's just that like 1/3 of our fan base don't want to wait. That's all it is. They don't feel like waiting. They want to get AJ DeBonsa is better than players now on this team. Look at what he's doing. Look at what he can do. Look at his wingspan. Look at his jumping ability. Look at this. Look at that, bro. Like, well, can we focus on who can actually who can actually play ball?
It's not
Can we
just
can
the
we
base leaf. It's Sean Marks. In the interview on Yes and the podcast that he was on, he said twice that listen, we may be taking a few ideas from OKC, Pacers, other teams, but at the end of the day, our market is way different from those teams. He keeps using the market because of the money. That will always be Sean Marks' biggest weapon that he has is the money aspect of this. And he said we're going to attract stars again. So it's not the base that's just trying to be unhappy, want this thing to be quick, quick, quick. It's Marks is basically saying we could amp up this rebuild part because I think in his mind, drafting international guys, he thinks it won't take as long for international guys to become acclimated with the grind of the NBA as opposed to American guys, which is a theory. That's a theory that could be true, it could be not true. But at the end of the day, you don't want to rush it just to rush it. You need a good depth of core around your top guys. And Marcus' problem has always been the bench has never been as balanced as it should be. So this is the time to really get that aspect right before you go after the big shark. I do agree with you, Leaf, that we do need to look a little bit internally this year, deeply internally, into who can break out from this group. But you really have to pay attention to who is rising above the pack and who's just being a supportive cast member. That is going to be the inclination of if there is a guy on this team right now, Leaf. But the odds
True.
of that happening are not super high right now, but they could be there. I'll give you that. They could be there. But they're not super
But
high.
yeah, the odds of that happening is just as great as our odds of getting a top three or top five pick in this draft.
Very true. Very true. You're not wrong for that. You're not wrong.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, right now we need to focus on what could be as of what's on our team right now, as opposed to just playing 2K and simulating a year. Let's go get AJ DeBonsa, bro, because we can be trash because we got the youngest roster in the league. Because guess what? The youngest a team just as young, not as young, but just as young, just won an NBA championship. Did they not?
Well, they did.
Yeah.
6 years.
Okay,
Years.
then.
It took some time.
So I mean, like, I don't really see the whole thing about rushing to the Bonsa or Cambuza or a top five dude, bro, like, or whoever else is in this draft. I'm not paying attention to it no more because how often does 5 first round picks come? We made history.
Right.
We made history by doing that. Now let's bank on that. Now let's bank on the history by actually developing what no other team has done, and that's drafting in the 5 times in the first round. Let's go forward with that. Let's do the homework, do the work, and continue on from there. That's all I'm
Well,
saying, bro. Now, whether it's Jaeger, whether it's Danny Wolf, or whether it's Drake Powell, or even Nolan Trey bro, let's make sure we see it through.
Yeah.
no,
Nah.
I agree with you on that.
So you gotta like right now, that's what we're doing, Leaf, right now. But at the same time, you gotta look forward at the same time. Even
Yep.
though you're looking
Yep.
right now, you gotta look forward. Like, all right, just to say, just for talking purposes, say MPJ still they like MPJ better than they like Cam Johnson, right? You already know he can be a solid 3 or 4, right? Say Ben Saraf turns out and he's coming up and he can be a solid 3 or 2, right? You still need that. You still need your one. So in all this we doing right now is trying to figure that out. So you are focusing on now, but you also looking forward to see, damn, if I happen to land on Tunde, if I happen to land on Nate, if I happen to land on AJ or Kareem Lopez or Cam Boozer, right? What would I need from them with the pieces I got now? Now I can start picking things apart. You know what I'm saying? I can start moving other players because you know what's working. You see your formula. Like, what could I add to this team that's in that draft? Because in that draft is wings. It's a little bit of point guards and wings. AJ,
Right.
the first three is 6'9". You know what I'm saying? And
Same.
Nate is 6'10" or 6'11". So I would say like the first four is 6'9" to 6'11", bro.
Insane.
You know like
Logically, and I'm driving right now back and forth to work. Logically, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. Logically, the way that if the way that the potential could go in terms of increase, logically, AJ DeBonsa is probably the best fit for this roster. Logically, the
Him or
reason why I
Boozer?
say I say DeBonsa more than Boozer. Here's why.
Mm-hmm.
DeBonsa, in terms of like in the open court, bro. Like, not saying that Cam Boozer can't score in the open court and things like that, but obviously AJ DeBonsa is the better athlete. And
Mm-hmm.
you already got passers in this past draft alone, and guys, bro, the skill set that we got in this draft, we didn't have before on last year's roster. We was talking about point guards, and we was talking about guys that could thread the
Right.
needle. Danny Wolf, Yegor, Nolan Trayor, can't they do that?
yeah, they all can run. They all can do that in different ways.
Yeah.
Yes, they all can do that.
So my thing is, bro, you just got to pair young athletes and young rim runners around them. AJ DeMonster seemed like the best fit, bro. Like my scenario, in a scenario that it can or can't come true. I'm just thinking out loud because that's what I do, bro. I just think out loud and shit happen and shit don't. We like, it's a possibility that we could Danny Wolf or Yegor Demen could make a first team all rookie both, and we get to from the 7th to 10th spot in the East, and we fuck around and get AJ DeBonsa in this draft and just add to that shit.
That's very interesting.
AJ DeBonsa, I'm just hypothetically thinking, but at
No,
the same time, bro, it is potential number ones on this roster, whether people believe it or not.
we definitely have to try to see that. But I would say this: there's a shot that the Nets had the second best odds in next year's lottery that we could still get the Bonsa, because I'm hearing a lot about Darren Peterson that this guy's getting Kobe Bryant-esque treatment, and I think his scoring skill set is ridiculous. He's one of the best scoring guards we've seen in a while. So if the Bonsa is actually going to get chosen second, and we have the second odds, that would be insane for the Brooklyn Nets. Like, coming in first does matter to a certain degree, but if you get the second or third pick, getting a DeBoster or Boozer is not horrible whatsoever, because we each have a reason for wanting those guys on the team. I definitely think getting a wing in next year's draft is paramount, because you already have all the guards on this team. Getting a wing is super crucial for the Nets, and there are definitely some great wings. Ahmad, Tunde Yasafu, Boozer, and DeBoster. That's four potential elite wings in this draft. If we get our hands on one of them, ooh, the Brooklyn Nets could start cooking next summer with free agency and getting some established vets on this team. They could really see what this team is made of. But just like what Leaf is saying, we do have to look deeply in these 82 games internally to see if there is a guy or two that can be in our top four as far as what we're trying to look for potentially. But we just got to see it. And I just don't know if the bar is there yet at the moment, though, Leaf. Because we have so many guys on the team right now. So hopefully by the beginning of the season, we round down this roster and these guys don't feel pressured to have to survive to stay on this team. They actually know they're going to be on this team and have to work to prove that they're going to be on this team long term. That's what we have to get to right now. We're not there yet.
Facts. I see Notorious just pulled up. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying?
yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna run it back just a little bit. We are hour in, so I'm gonna just run back real quick for you and catch you up. Kobe Lufkin, it was stated in Brian Lewis' article that the Nets coach, scouting team and Juwan Howard actually wanted Kobe. So they wanted Kobe before when he got drafted, and that's how they got him now, with Juwan Howard actually saying that, you know what I'm saying, let's get him on the team. Now, we talked about Ben Saraf, I don't know if you heard about Ben Saraf out here showing out in training camp. You know what I'm saying? And being one of the standout guys so far. So I'm gonna let you just speak on that, you know what I'm saying, and then catch you back up to 26 draft. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Kobe was he played for Juwan Howard in college. So Jordy said that was really Juwan Howard's move, that he wanted Kobe on this team. So I guess he knows the young man, and I guess he think there's something there. Hopefully it works out for us. As far as Ben Saraf, man, I mean, I don't know, man. I just all the flip flop stuff, because I remember after the Ben didn't play that good in the summer league. Everybody was talking about he wasn't an NBA player. He's trash. He's this. Now everybody want to hop on the Ben Saraf train now.
Right.
Like, come on, man. Like,
Right.
Nets fans are so fucking fickle. It's ridiculous, bro. Like, come on. Y'all was just bashing this dude, saying he was probably the worst pick we had, saying he wasn't an NBA player. And now that MPJ and other players on the team have come out and say Ben has really impressed them in training camp. And now the word is out, like he's been showing now that everybody's on the Ben Saraf hype train. Like, give me a break, man.
We have found our new tank commander. His name is Ben Saraf.
Well, I'm gonna say this, man. I'm gonna say this though. I ain't even. This may not be the popular opinion, but I'm not even looking towards next draft until I see what we got with these guys, bro. I want to see what we got. Let's get through this year. Let's see what we got with this bunch, and then as time progresses, we can start looking towards that. The year ain't even start yet. We don't even know what we got with this young bunch yet, man.
See, and that's what Leaf just said. But I told him, right? We don't know that, and that's why we got to pay attention this year. But at the same time, right? At the same time, you gotta know what's in the other draft. You gotta know what's going on with the other fellas. But
I feel that. I feel you always got to stay 2-3 steps ahead, and you always got to know who's coming out, and you always got to stay ahead of the curve. But in another sense, I think a lot of fans ain't even really giving these guys a chance before they even start, and they're already looking towards the next draft. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I think a lot of people feel like we don't got nobody who's going to pan out. So it's like, based off of the picks we got, a lot of people wasn't happy with the picks we got. So, I mean, it's like, they're not even giving these guys a chance to see how they're going to pan out. You know what I mean? Before we start looking into the next draft. I mean, I get it. You're supposed to stay ahead of the power curve, and you're supposed to be consistently recruiting and looking to the future.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, let these guys get through the season before we start writing them off.
Right. And I'm laughing, bro, because that's exactly where we was at. But I do want to see what everybody else is doing right now. And like Ben, like you said, like I didn't like him as a pick. I wouldn't have picked him, but I knew he could hoop. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a problem with his hoop, but I just didn't like his style of play. But I knew he can get bucket. I know he could hoop. You know what I'm saying? And like you saying now that the word is out that Ben is like, you know what I'm saying? Ben is legit to everybody in camp right now. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I ain't saying nobody legit, because we got a long way to go, bro. Like, come on, man.
Not that he
everybody,
legit.
Everybody basing shit off of a summer league and training camp.
Yeah.
Like, we ain't even start the season yet. And you know what? They say it takes at least 3 years for you to really, really get a good gauge on what you think an NBA player is going to be.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Before you even start to get a gauge on what you think his ceiling is, or where he might, end his career. So, yeah, man. I mean, I'm just ready I'm excited. I'm personally excited. We got a lot of young guys. I'm being optimistic about it. I'm excited for the journey with them, to see them grow and develop. That's what I'm excited about. I know we're not going to be probably winning a lot of games, but you know what? I'm excited for the journey, man.
Yeah, yeah. So before you came on, that's what we was talking about too, as well as Ben. But did you hear that Jordy said all three of the point guards are going to get thrown into the fire? Saraf, Yegor, and Trayor. Did you hear that?
Yeah, I believe it. And you know what, Sean Marks, that interview I sent you, he talked about positionless basketball. So, and how they want to play that, and that's why they got the 3-point guards. And you know what? A lot of them, they're gonna be on the floor together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I expect for all of our rookies to get thrown into the fire because that's the type of basketball that they wanna look forward to playing is positionless basketball.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's a fact. That's a fact. I don't know if you heard this because John sent this to me on from practice in the park. He sent a clip to me about Tyson Etienne saying he think my boy Tyrese Martin is the hardest person on the team to guard, right? He said he gonna go with Tyrese. They've been through it in the G League, and like I said, and Brian Lewis or on Nest Daily talked about Tyrese Martin, said he's having a very good training camp right now. So
yeah, I did see that. I did see that on Twitter. I've been on Twitter here and there, peeping my head in, checking out stuff. But I did hear Tyrese is having a pretty good training camp. I heard that. I heard, and I also heard Ben Saraf was impressing some people as well. Those two names that I did hear.
Right. So now, you know, me and you, when Leaf just dropped off before you came up a little while ago, me and you talked about Reese when he was first in training camp. I mean, summer league for the Nets, and now what's this? His second year for the Nets. Now hear him come up this year, and his name is ringing bells in training camp. How you feel about that, Joey?
You know, I mean, it's good, man. I mean, shoot, if he putting in the work and it's showing out, cool. I wasn't when I was going in on Reese last year when some of us was going back and forth.
Yeah.
I just didn't like that everybody was shitting on Keon and
Right.
act like Reese couldn't do no wrong. Like they all was out there doing some good shit and they all was doing some bad shit. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All of them was learning on the curve. You feel me? But I like Reese, man, and it seemed like he put in the work and he trying to stick. So I mean, hopefully it'll work out for him.
Yeah, nah, it sounds like it is, though. It sounds like it is. You know what I mean? I'm just happy because you already know that's my guy. Reese is my guy. Reese is my guy. He can do wrong, but he's my guy. You know what I'm saying? He said,
no, for sure. Reese is solid though. He's solid. I mean, he's had his ups and downs last season, but I mean, he's back for a reason. So I mean, the Nets definitely want to see more of him and definitely think there's more there. So he's given the opportunity to prove that, and it seems like he's been putting the work in over the summer. So let's see if he take that jump.
Yeah, bro. I don't think Martin's gonna be gone, bro. If he's doing well in training camp, I doubt he's gone, bro. Somebody else gonna take that hit. You know what I'm saying? They got other fellas on the team. Somebody gonna take a hit. I don't think it's him. I don't hope it's not him. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Joey. I think Tyrese is probably the most safest out of all the young guys. I mean, I could see Wilson, Timmy, and all those guys being gone before I see Tyrese. Like you said, I'll be surprised if Tyrese is gone. He'll probably be he'll probably be the most surprising to me if he's let go out of all the young guys we got.
Right. You know what I mean? That's facts. That's facts. So I was saying I was wrong about Saraf going to the G. It seems like he's staying up. So I came on live and said I was wrong about Saraf going to the G because he's doing some things impressing everybody. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying? That's
yeah. But people got to understand. I don't mean to cut you off. And Trayor said this, and I believe I said this on Breezy's podcast one time. Y'all don't understand. These kids are young, but kids like Trayor and kids like Ben, they've been playing professionally, bro.
Right.
They've been playing professionally in Europe, and like Trayor said, like, yo, in so many words, like professional basketball players in Europe are better than college kids.
Yeah, that's a fact. How you felt about that? Because that's what I heard that too. How you feel about that?
I 100% agree. I agree with it. I agree with it, bro. I mean, it's professional basketball for a reason. I'm not saying like Division 1 ain't solid basketball, but
Right.
you know, we think because we in America and we try to we want to look down on everybody else playing the game in other parts of the world. No, even though these guys are not in the NBA, they're still professionals. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
it's a difference.
that's true.
And these guys are playing, and these young guys like Trayor and Ben that are playing professionally at a young age, they're playing with some grown ass men who's in their probably mid-20s, late 20s, that's in Europe playing professional basketball. So
Right.
those are grown-ass men they're playing against, vice versus, you know, everybody in college being what, max maybe like 20, 21, I mean 21, 22 years old, you
Yeah.
know?
And like you said, so basically what he's saying is we ahead of those college guys, right? Basically, we playing with pros already, and they still gotta learn how to be a pro from college. You know what I'm saying? They just gotta adjust to the NBA speed and all that because it's different space and all that is different. But they are ahead of college players as far as being professional and the league that they play in. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with that too. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying for Ben that it's impressive that when I talked about Ben, I didn't want to draft him. I didn't like his style of play, but I knew he could hoop. And I thought they would send him to the G to work on his shot. But obviously, I don't know if you've seen that video, bro. That clip of him in training camp splitting the defense and making a play. I think it was to Drew Timmy. Have you seen that clip?
I think the only clip I seen was him giving a bounce pass to Dayron and him dunking. I ain't see the other one.
So there's like 5 or 6 clips out, and is a I think it started with that, and somebody might have clipped that one, but in that clip, like he's coming around from the right side. Somebody tried to trap him. He split the double team, went to the left and made the quick pass. I was like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like he can break it. He can break a double team. You know how hard it is to break a double team, but he had the passes out. yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like how hard it is to split a double team when trapping, and he has the ability to do that right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like you said, I think you know, it's going to be an adjustment for them because even though they play professionally, it's a totally different type of game in the NBA. And I think once they get, you know, comfortable and adjusted, you know, and they figure things out, um, you know what I mean? We in for some surprises, man, for sure. I
Yeah.
mean,
So
it's development, man. Everybody want fast food. Everybody wants some guy who's going to just jump off the porch and be the next superstar, but that
yeah,
ain't everybody path, man.
right.
We need to
I ain't got
stop
well,
comparing folks, man.
yeah, I ain't got too many topics, so I'm gonna run it back to Clax. You know what I'm saying? Clax, I seen on I think it was Brian Lewis as well. It might have been Netsdale or Brian Lewis saying that Clax is supposed to have a bigger role after his, you know what I'm saying, his back been hurting last year, had the epidural. Sorry for y'all in the chat. I'm running back at Joe here. Had the epidural, expect to have a bigger role and do more. You know what I'm saying? Saying that I think they said that he feels better, his back is better or something like that. And he didn't have a great outing last year because of that. So what you think? I don't know what people expect Clax to do. I don't think he's a scorer, but what do you think that means?
I don't know. I mean, listen, Clax. I read an article. They said that the Clax hype train is losing steam, man.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so I say that to say this. I mean, what year is he in? Like, is this like his 5th year?
Something like that.
Something like that. But Clark's gonna have to show more, bro. He gonna have to show more offensively, and we've been waiting for him to get stronger. I mean, I get it. Everybody genetics is differently. Everybody was comparing him to Clowney, like, yo, Clowney got stronger, bigger, way faster than
Right,
Clax, and da 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 da. But
right.
you know what I mean? But listen, man, I ain't gonna shit on Clax, man. We know the things he can do good. He's a defensive specialist. I say that like, I want to see more out of him more offensively. Now, if is he going to be willing to want to be a part of the offense and take those shots and create for himself? Because right now, outside of a lob threat, we haven't really seen much. I mean, I've seen him take a couple bigs off the dribble, but I mean, I just hope he shows more offensively, man. I want him to be more offensively polished. I mean, he's been around for a little bit, and I felt like he hasn't really taken a leap offensively. And it would be nice to see him do that this year.
Right, right. It would be. You know what I mean? Like that. I hope so, because I don't know what that means either. Like I don't know if you're gonna get like 2 more points. He's gonna average 14 or something, 14 and 10. Like I don't know what that means. Like maybe ball in his hand more. Maybe, you know what I'm saying? Have him at the free throw line doing something, starting from there. I don't know what that means for Clax. You know what I'm saying? Going forward. But it's interesting to see that they saying he gonna have a bigger role and PJ gonna have a different role. You know what I'm saying? Looking forward for him scoring. Like there's a lot of unknown on this team, and like we just talked about before you came on, the wins. Like some people, Leaf asked, is it beneficial to make it to the play-in? And some people think this team could make it to the play-in, Joey. Like, what you think? You there, Joey? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I don't know. What y'all think in the chat? Y'all think this team can make it to the play-in?
Oh, my bad.
There
I
you
was
go.
on mute.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say no, bro, and only because this is a very, very young team. A lot of these guys ain't, this is gonna be their first year playing with each other, and a lot of these rookies and these young guys gonna be getting adjusted to the NBA. I don't see it. I don't see them making a play in, me personally.
Yeah. I didn't think so either. I said 22 wins. You know what I mean? Brian earlier said 21 to 24.
Yeah. I
say
say between 22 and 25. 22, 25 wins. I mean, I don't know. I guess I just can't see the playing thing. I think that's kind of far fetched. I mean, crazy things have happened, but
right.
you got all these rookies on this team, and still trying to. You're gonna have to be learning the league. Gonna have to learn how to still learn their role and the first time playing together. I mean, Jordy's a great coach, but he's still a young coach, and it's going. Yeah, I don't see it, man.
Yeah, I don't see it either, bro. I don't see it. But other people do. I even heard Jeff Teague say it. Sleeper team is the Nets, and I'm like, how? You know what I'm saying? Am I missing something watching these games, or is he missing something? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see how we sleep a team. I know we got, like I told Leaf, we got decent players on here. Terrence Mann, MPJ. You know what I'm saying? Like Clax, Clowney, Zaire. They're decent players. Cam's still here. Decent players. But playing team, I don't see it, bro. I don't see it either.
Yeah, we also seen it when we had more help last year, and we had a lot of more veteran guys, and even when we had more veteran guys, we didn't have anybody to really close. The Nets would hang tough with a lot of teams, and then when they get in the fourth quarter or late in the fourth quarter, they couldn't close out games. So
Right.
and I really don't see no closer on this team like that. I mean, we got a
Besides
couple
Cam.
decent. Yeah, I mean, we got a couple decent pieces like Cam and MPJ and Terrence Mann, but I don't know.
Right.
We'll see.
When you start going down the list, it goes short. You know what I'm saying? Cam,
Yep.
MPJ, Terrence Mann, and you like, damn, like who else? Who else? I know Clowney gonna score sometimes. You know what I mean? He's not going because he's gonna shoot the three. I don't know if he's gonna drive that much. I know he said he was gonna try to get to the basket a lot more this season. You know what I'm saying? Put the ball on the floor. Zaire gonna score on and off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's no.
Let's keep it a buck, bro. When you look at this roster, it's probably like two in a possible that can really like get their own shot.
Pretty much.
You got Cam, you got MPJ, and then Terrence Mann as a possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I like Zaire, but is Zaire really going to will you to victory in the fourth quarter? Like, he's more of a 3-and-D, like role player, play solid defense, point of attack defender, and shoot his open shots.
Yeah.
Right. And at the end,
Go ahead, John.
and at the end of the day, I said it early on your show, Ice. Our offensive system really is tied into how MPJ and Cam does. And the thing is, MPJ's back now, something seriously monitored. He said that he takes this now year by year. The preparation he has to do. He's probably not playing at all any of these back to backs this year. He's definitely gonna have to be managed. And then Cam Thomas, the month of November is huge for him, but December 15, that's when anybody who signed a contract to free agency this summer, they're trade eligible. So if you move Cam off the board, MPJ and injury comes up, this offense crashes and burns pretty quickly, which sets you up really well for a lottery pick. So it really depends on those two guys' health, though. And Claude just said, how many of these guys are going to be healthy? Listen, health is going to be huge for a lot of these guys this year, especially guys that want to stay in the NBA and want to prove something, especially for our rookies. But you definitely have to manage some ebbs and flows here because injuries are going really crazy right now in the NBA. Before we even play a single preseason game, their bodies dropping right now in the NBA. So, like, for the Nets, I think that actually works to the Nets' advantage because there will be teams calling us about Haywood, about Cam, maybe about Claxton. So, even if this team does well the first month and a half, I would not be surprised as soon as December hits that a guy or two just gets flipped right away because it won't align with our lottery pick goals. So, I just feel like that's the way it's set up for the Nets. But, like Joey just said, the options are slim pickings on this team. And you remove those
I
slim
forgot
pickings
about
away,
Kobe though.
you got nothing.
JC Libidity. Yeah, I think Kobe could do some things too. I think he could get his own for
Yeah,
sure.
they was talking about in the article I read that they thought he could be an actual contributor to the Nets. That he has the scoring ability to do so, and that's why they think he's like a steal or sleeper pickup for the Nets. You know what I mean? And it's possible for him to do that. I wouldn't sleep on him either, but I don't know where he's going to end up on the team. It was saying in another article, that he will be backup for Yegor, being the second point guard off the bench. You know what I mean? But I don't know how that's going to go with Jordy because now he's running all, you know what I'm saying, all the rookies, and I don't know what he's going to do with Kobe. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's not
Man,
all
I
the
think
rookies.
everything is just gonna go by a performative basis, man, with a lot of these young guys. And that's how they looking at it, and that's how they going to go. That's how they going to tell going forward who's going to be a future net and who ain't. I mean, this whole fucking year is just going to be a big ass fucking. This whole shit is just a big ass tryout experiment, bro.
Shit, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That
So
definitely is.
You know what I mean? Like I ain't got too many topics. I think I'm yo. I think did you go to practice in the park? Oh, you in VA,
nah,
Joe?
I ain't go. I looked at the little pictures and stuff, man. If I was back home, I would have went, but nah, I didn't go. I think Breezy and Jay and them went though.
Yeah,
And
they did.
Scott went too. Scott went as well. And
Yeah,
Jamal.
I seen the picture with him and him and Scott up there. You know what I mean? I ain't go. I'm in Maryland, so you know what I'm saying. Anybody in the chat went to practice in the park today? Let me know something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
And Ice,
yo,
as far as like a little more topic to talk about, yeah, this preseason is going to be big for some of these guys because you do have to cut the roster down to 15. And there are four guys whose names we've mentioned multiple times: Wilson, Whitehead, Martin, and Drew Timmy. Those four guys are going to have to be very impressive in these four preseason games. Preseason games are usually very meaningless, but for these guys, it's crucial. Like their minutes they play in preseason games will have a huge impact on if they make the roster or not. So these next 2 to 3 weeks are going to be so important to see those guys if they can hold down a role or not, because they are definitely fighting for their Brooklyn Nets lives, Hunger Game style, to prove that they should be on this team. So that's going to be an interesting little topic before we really have to bunch the roster down just to make opening night. So that's definitely going to be very interesting. And I hope these guys do earn it, but they're definitely in direct competition with some of these other guys, like with Buffkin and Whitehead. And it'll be interesting to see who rises from the pack because we are looking for the next Brooklyn Net. And that really has to mean something this year for these guys.
right? That's right. Hold on that thought.
I
Javon,
just want to say when I'm looking, to
go ahead, Joe.
me,
Go ahead.
I don't know. Like I know certain fans have different expectations. So I think it's a success if we can get maybe a 3 or 4 of these guys, to become high level role players and build a core. To me, that's a success. That'd be dope. I know some people is like, yo, we looking for the next star. If you ain't hit on a star, you pretty much fail. You know what I mean? And I don't look at it that way because I feel like we need everything, bro. I feel like if we could at least get some positives from this group and get at least 2-3 solid role players and core pieces, I think that's a win. I don't think necessarily you got to hit on a star for it to be a win draft. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's,
I don't think so either, because a good player is a good player. I mean, wherever they drafted at, it don't even the number really it matters and it doesn't matter. Because I think once once you're in the top four, you can possibly get a superstar. But once you get down past that, like anything's possible. You can get a star player, you can get a role player, you can get anything out. If you get anything out of that, you good. And who asked me? Javon, I am from Gaithersburg. I'm from Gaithersburg, Maryland. You know what I'm saying? Montgomery County.
yeah.
That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. It's
Because
where I was, but that's where I'm at.
because if we get a couple of these guys that pan out as high level role players, I mean, shit, that's something. I mean, you keep improving around the edges. You can still go. You can still try to, draft your guy, or you could go out in free agency and get your guy and have him play with the core. You know what I mean? That young core that you got. So right
Right.
now we don't have anything, and for us just to at least get a core, that would be. I think that's a success because then you have some kind of direction. You're like, okay, I got these guys right here, this is what I got to work with. These are the guys that I know I can build with going forward. And I know what I need and I can build around that. Or I know what's missing and I can go out and get it, whether it be in free agency or whether it be right back in the draft. So I don't think necessarily not hitting on a star is a failure. Like if you get, like I said, you get 3 to 4, maybe 2 to 4 high level role players. I think that's a success, me personally.
No, you're not wrong for that, Joey. At the end of the day, building a core, that's the first path towards sustainable success. Marks has preached that for 10 years, hasn't hit it. It starts with a core. You will not be a legit team without a core. And me and Jay said this on different shows, Breezy and Scott's, that it's going to take a mix of development and going out there getting another star or great depth. Like you need a great bench depth if you want to have a deep playoff run. And financially, you need at least 2 to 3 guys that you're paying a lot of money to, and the other guys got to be good supportive players. So it's like for the Nets, we are really trying to find that right now. And if this Flatbush 5, 3 out of 5 of them, 4 or 5 would be great, could hit that mark. And then your guy next year, this draft can hit that mark. We are really cooking in a very weak East right now. Like it could come together for the Nets in the next 2, 3 years really quickly if you have all those right pieces. And if this Flatbush 5 can have that mentality, that grit this year, it's going to be a tough year and they get through it very well. Then whoever you get next year, it's going to build on that. And then right after next year's draft, John Marks is thinking about hitting the go button and winning veteran pieces before even getting a start piece, which I'm totally fine with. Then you start winning at the right temperature, which is building the right winning habits, having the right culture, having all the pieces you need, and then you can take off from there. I mean, this East is the weakest East it's ever been in the 21st century, and that gives you a window, even in a bad situation like this rebuild right now, to really put it all together rather quickly if the pieces fall where they may. But I thought Leaf put an interesting point tonight. For these 82 games, we got to look internally to see if there's 1 or 2 or 3 guys that could fit our top 5 potentially based on who we draft next year and who we get in free agency. Like, if that works out for the Nets, then we're already ahead of the curve. But this year, it's going to be an adventure just to see who really can break out from the pack and solidify a certain roles on this team. That's the big test. So I agree with you, Joey. It'll be interesting to see who does rise up and hit that barometer.
Yeah, see what the cream is going to rise to the top. So that's how the saying goes.
Yeah.
I mean, the only way to find out is have the season play out. So, but like I said, once you figure that out, I mean, we do got a couple of, I would say if you want to say Dayron and Zaire, you could say those are decent, bench players or something like that. But when I'm talking about core, I'm talking about guys who's going to be like, and I'm not saying they're not high level role players, but I'm talking about starters, like guys that's starter material. They may not be stars, but they can at least start in this league and play at a high level.
Yeah, no, that's facts. That's facts. If you're starting, you got to play at a high level. We got a couple guys who can do that. You know what I'm saying? Who can do that? And that's why this roster is funny. You know what I mean? Because we don't know what we really got until they keep a couple guys for. You know what I'm saying? Because I think, like I said, I think after I think our rebuild is basically done as far as young talent, real young talent, right? But I still think like next year is when it's like really over, and then you start building, you start shaping.
Right.
Exactly. I agree.
Exactly.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think the Nets are just waiting to see or have some type of idea what they got with these young guys that they're going to put out on the court, especially the guys that they drafted. And I think they'll improve around the edges. You know what I mean? And like you said, they'll go out and draft somebody like who would complement the pieces that we drafted this year.
right.
So,
Right.
We'll see.
And there are stars that are on unhappy teams right now. If we look at the league round, there are a lot of teams up against that cap apron that are trying to compete, but they're not winning whatsoever. And in this new CBA, you either win or you lose. And if you have a window to win, you got to take every advantage of those lifelines. Because if you don't, you're basically paying all these guys money for nothing, and you're losing even more so than you were in the previous eras. So I think those stars that are unhappy situations right now, they're looking at a team like Brooklyn, which is a blank canvas, to really see how the guys you draft this year and the guy you draft next year, how they will play well together. If they feel like, hey, one or two of those guys could be my second or third options, I'm ready to sign on the dotted line and come to Brooklyn and really make us a franchise to be respectable again. Like, it could come together just like that. The only thing with Sean Marks is you got to prioritize these guys getting actual development and mixing in a star if that's the route you want to go. But you can't just rely just on the stars and these guys become expendable pieces. It's got to be a mix, just like with OKC, just like some of these other teams are trying to do. You do not want to put all your chips on three dudes like the Suns did and crash and burn like the 76ers did, and they don't even know if their guys are going to play because the doctors don't say they're going to play. Like, we do not need to be in either of those situations right now. We got to do this right.
It got to make sense. We can't just go out and just be like, yo, get a star for the sake of getting a star. You feel what I'm saying?
Not to sell tickets. Like, you want to win. It has to be at a winning scenario.
You want to make sure that the star that you get is complementing the young core that you have, and you want to also make sure that the young core is actually ready. And I'm gonna go back to OKC. Mm-hmm. When did OKC really start making splashes in free agency? Once they had that big year and they fucking shot up in the standings in the West, and then they went to the playoffs and lost. And then I think that's when it clicked. And Presti's head like, yeah, they ready. Right. They ready. We just need a couple of more tweaks. You know what I mean? We need to go out and get a Isaiah Hartenstein. We need to go out and get a what's his name? Caruso. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They was like, yeah, we got the young guys. Let's go out and get some solid role players who gonna fit some of the weaknesses that we have, mm-hmm. and we gonna rock and roll. Like, right. you gotta also know the timeline, man. You gotta know the timeline. You gotta know fitment. You know what I mean? Because you can't just be bringing a star here just to bring a star here if your team, if the rest of the team is not ready to compete for a championship.
I agree with you. And the interesting thing about next summer, the Nets don't necessarily have to just go after a star. There are definitely going to be veteran potential upgrade bench pieces that want those roles, just like Rockets did with Fred VanVleet. Look how impactful he's been in the last 3 years to help them get Kevin Durant to their team. Like, if the Nets can find that ultra vet guy out there that can help not only rebuild the culture but play well with these young guys, then you could potentially be a star or a few more veteran piece away if you hit really well on next year's draft. Like, it could click just like that for the Brooklyn Nets, but they definitely have to get the timing right. I just think their window to contend again starts after next summer, because you don't have control of your own pick at 2027. And then the other picks you have are other teams' picks, the Knicks pick, the 76ers pick, and then the Nuggets pick. Like, those are valuable picks that other teams might want if their stars are in a happy situation. They want to come to Brooklyn. So it's just Sean, I know he's navigating right now, looking at different teams or situations. Whoever you go after, it has to be the right decision. A guy that's committed to being in Brooklyn for more than just a year to sell tickets and then say, I'm out, deuces. No, this cannot happen this time. Prioritize the development, but get a star if you want to that complements what we're trying to build right now. I think Jordy is the right coach. He's getting a lot of respect from a lot of different people, especially players who are looking at what he's doing with these young crop of guys. If these young crop of guys surpass expectations the next 2 years, there's definitely going to be a star that's saying, hey, I want to make history in Brooklyn and become the first ever one to say, I got Brooklyn's first ever championship. That's the biggest appeal to the Brooklyn Nets. Whoever does help us ultimately win that goal will be the first ever championship in Brooklyn Nets history. And the first is always the most special. And I always think that's so appealing to stars that want to come here is that nobody's done it yet in Brooklyn. And if you could hit right with the development aspect of this, it makes it even more special. But this organization has to prove more than just what they say. You got to get the mix right. You can't just say, oh, culture, 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 sustainable success. It has to mean something. Because if you just keep dishing out these new cores every year, it's not going to mean a damn thing. So hopefully this is the start of a core being built because you need it, or else you'll never be a serious team in the NBA. You'll be the Chicago Bulls or the Sacramento Kings right now, just putting pieces together for no reason, hoping it works.
Like I say, man, just keep developing and keep. Hey, worst case scenario, you get a core, and don't just go out and get a star just to get a star. Make sure you got a core. Make sure that core is ready to compete. Make sure that star fits with the core. Make sure that star is here to be in Brooklyn to win and compete, not just to be in New York. You know what I mean? And get a check.
Right.
So there's a lot of boxes that got to be checked off because, like, yeah, I want him to bring a star here, but I don't want him to bring a star here just for the sake of saying we got a star. You know what I mean? It has to make sense. Like John says, the mix has to be right. The timing has to be right. You got to get the right star. And you know what? I'm cool with just, I mean, it may not sound cool. I'm cool with us just developing and working on our core and continue to draft until draft and hopefully hoping to get our star. If not, I'd rather go that route than to just bring a guy here just for the sake of bringing him here and the team is not ready to compete.
Most definitely.
So I'm cool with bringing a star here, but it has to be right. It has to be the right time and the right star and the right
Definitely
mix.
agree. And next summer could be a huge summer. I thought this was the most important summer. Next year could be the biggest summer in Brooklyn Nets history. It's based on the lottery, how these guys do, and what is Sean Marks' ideas right now. Because he's hinting that there's a go button about to be pressed very soon. He's probably looking at the NBA landscape, and there are definitely some big players that could be on the move essentially in the future. And I really hope these young guys we have take that as, you know what, it's about us right now. If somebody wants to come to this team, they're going to want to work with us, not we work with them. They're going to want to work with us. And that's the mentality I want these 5'5" to embody. Don't act like you need the star to come save your ass. Act like you want to be the ones to help elevate that star if there is one that's coming. I think that's what the narrative needs to change. As much as I do want to star here, I want these young guys to shine as well because it's going to take that perfect mix. I don't think we're going to become the youngest team like OKC to win a title, but I think we could take a lot of things from teams like them, Pacers, and those other teams, and try to combine it to make something even better. It's just the organization. It really comes down to their decision making. Sean and Joe's decisions this year into next summer are really going to define where we are going to be the next 4 to 5 years. And I hope they finally have a wake-up call because the base, it wants results. We don't just want words anymore. We want the results eventually to mean something and be sustainable. You can't just keep saying the word sustainable. We got to see it become sustainable. And that's what the key is going forward.
That's a fact. You know, like I always say, there's only two ways to really get a star. Either you're going to draft one or you're going to bring one here in free agency. And you know what? The draft way is, that's a gamble. At least when you get a guy in free agency, you know what he is. Like he's a star in the league. You know what I mean? You get a young stud in the draft, you're like, yeah, he has a high possibility of being a star, but he could also be a bust. So, I don't know, man. Like I said, I mean, it's multiple ways to go around doing this thing. Nothing is guaranteed. We just got to look at it based off what our situation is at the time. You know what I mean, and take it from there. What's the best route for the team?
Yeah, facts. And that's what we want. We want to see the best route. John, you're right. This has been the most boring summer ever. Even on TikTok, or people that pull up on my live and saying like, yo, the lives have been dry. There's nothing to talk about. Ain't nothing going on. Like, yo, this is killing us out here right now with no basketball, bro. Like, the NBA is back.
Yo, what's up with the Kaminga? That shit looking ugly over there.
Yo, he has till Wednesday to decide on that. And the crazy thing is tomorrow they got to go to Abu Dhabi. So if he ain't on the flight and he's not signing a qualifying offer, we're entering uncharted territories in restricted free agency, like to the max. Like this is what we worry about with Cam Thomas. But the Kuminga situation, is he really going to leave $70 million on the table? This is going to be an insane precedent if that's what Kuminga does. I'm glad we're not a part of that situation, but I think the Kings right now are trying to hope that he gets a trade to them because they're the only team that really wants him at this point. But man, if Kuminga leaves $70 million on the table or takes a qualifying offer, man, it sucks to be a Warrior right now. It really does because that Curry era is almost at its end, and losing your only athletic real player on that team not going to help you whatsoever in a crazy West. That's a crazy situation, though.
Right. I don't know if you've seen. I'm gonna close out soon. That Jimmy Butler and Draymond was rushing the Warriors to get that deal done, figure it out so they can, because they made no offseason. He's actually holding up their offseason moves. They have got nobody on that team yet. Steph Curry is supposed to. They want to sign Steph Curry. They want to sign Al Horford. They got other people that they want to sign, but until that gets done, they were not making no moves. You know what I'm saying? So their roster kind of short right now. You know what I mean?
Their roster looks like it's getting older. I mean, Curry and Al Horford, maybe a few years ago, I'd be jazzed for it. But, man, you lose your youngest athletic player, Kuminga. I mean, Ice, that team is going to be one of the oldest Western teams in the conference. I mean, the Clippers are the oldest team. Warriors will be right up there with them because they're losing the age number here. I mean, you got Jimmy Butler making $60 million, and he's approaching, 38, 39, something like that very soon, the next year or two. Like, they are definitely financially up against it. That's why I think the Brooklyn Nets right now, they're looking at teams right now that are, like, dealing with those cap issues, and they have a star or two that's just stuck in a bad situation and thinking, hey, if we develop that young core, that star might want to come jump ship to us. So I think really as much as we're going to be looking at our season, very closely this year, I'm looking at every other team right now in their situation. There are definitely some teams that are at their breaking point, just to drop a few bucks, 76ers, Suns. Like there are some teams that are like they have to make a decision like we did a year or two ago. Like, are you really going to keep trying to make an unhappy product be happy? No, you got to break that up eventually. So I think for the Nets, we're in the best spot possible as far as having flexibility. It's just we're going to have to make that decision. When is the right time to strike? And I think it's going to be in a year or two. I really do.
Also, on that note, I'm going to close out. Y'all shout y'all spots out. You know what I mean? Where the fans can find you at.
Ice, great show as always, man. We produced some great content this summer. Shout out to the Brooklyn Bays. Yeah, this has been a boring ass summer. This has been a crazy anxious summer. I never thought in a rebuild it would be this insane, but we have Sean Marks and Joe Desai as our leaders. So are we really surprised? I'm not. But yeah, listen, if a shout out to the Brooklyn content creators. We're one of the best content media teams out there. So just keep being strong, Brooklyn Nets fans. I know it don't look great right now, but seriously, in a year or two, this could really change for the Brooklyn Nets. And next summer, I think it's going to be the biggest summer in Brooklyn Nets history. I really do. And anybody wants to talk fun basketball, follow me on my Twitter, everything BKNS John, because I talk everything Brooklyn Nets basketball and a lot of other fun stuff. But shout out to you, Ice, and shout out to the Brooklyn Base. And we about to start preseason, so let's go, Brooklyn! Woo!
All right, Notorious shout out. I'm about to close out right now. Shout where you at. You know what I'm saying? To the fans in the chat.
Yeah, man, my phone died, but you can catch me on X, man. At Notorious, man. Just talking Nets basketball, talking about the sorry Giants, talking about the sorry Yankees, talking about all the sorry New York franchises. You know what I'm saying? So that's how you can catch me at, man.
All right, y'all know my motto. Y'all don't have to like, y'all don't have to subscribe because I don't know anything. You heard? And we out.
Peace.